Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the back garden yard. And we have a freeze warning. That's right, freeze warning the next 2 nights. So we've got to get out into the garden and we've got to pick those things that we said would bear until frost. Well, guess what? Frost is here. Now I'm holding in my hand some very nice mustard greens, and they won't freeze. They're going to be fine right on through. The first time we get some icy precipitation, then they'll probably freeze. But otherwise, they'll be fine. But these are ready to harvest. So we're going to get us a mess of these pretty soon. But right now, let's go look at those peppers, maybe the okra, and for sure. So the first thing we're looking at here is the Asian purple mustard. And now you can see why we call them that, because these leaves are definitely turning purple. They're looking very nice. This is the red romaine lettuce, and it's got a few extra weeds in it, but overall it's looking really nice. Then this is the Napa cabbage, and you can see the little head starting to form in here. So what I have to do today is pull all these outside leaves off, because the frost will lay them down on the ground. And so I'm going to get all the outside leaves, and of course we can cook, make soup, or just have boiled cabbage, steamed cabbage with those. And then we have these beautiful mustards, and same thing with these outside leaves. I'm going to pick them and go ahead and make a pot of mustard greens. And then over here is what I was talking about. I've got to harvest today all of my bell peppers, and these are the orange peppers, and then what's left of the Asian peppers. There's a ton of them, and so I've got to get here and get those. Then the okra, I really haven't picked it in a while, since it's just quit bearing. But if there's any pickable okra up here on the okra, I'm going to get it. I see a few pods for a last taste of summer okra. These, as I've been saying all year, are the lima beans that I said would keep bearing until frost. Well, guess what? We've got frost, and we've got lima beans that are bearing. Let's look through these. Remember, these are the ones you can look through. Look at those lima beans in there. Oh yeah. So I got to come out here and get these, because they'll be laid down in the morning when we get that big frost. They're saying we're going to get. I'll go ahead and pick these, even though they're not quite ready. Harder to shell, but you got to go ahead and get them if you want them. A couple of these have actually turned into seeds, but that's okay. But anyway, there's a lot of lima beans still left on the lima bean patch. This is kale. The kale is doing fine. Big row of kale. And then over here is some more of the regular Florida mustard, and they are looking fine. I still, once again, I don't need to pick these outside leaves so they don't fall over and just ruin. And then these are the giant radish. Right here, let's see, I got a picture of what they'll look like. That's the giant radish. Actually, that's upside down. That's the way they'll look. And let's see if I can find one. They're starting to put on some radish bulbs. Let's look down there. Still can't quite see them. There's the top of one. Anyway, there'll be something I can show later on, and they'll survive well the first few frosts. And then the last thing in the garden here is more of this Napa cabbage, making little small heads here. I'll take these leaves off. So I've got a lot of work to do, and let's get with it. And just one note about overwintering your peppers and your tomatoes and some of the other plants. I see all these videos about, you know, taking these up and shaking out all the dirt to get the pest out, and then replanting them and putting them inside and cutting everything off up to right here and keeping these little stems, trying to keep them alive all winter. Let me tell you folks, I've done it. It is not worth the trouble. Just go out and plant your seeds next spring, buy your little plants next spring, and don't spend all winter trying to nurse these things, because it's just not gonna be worth it. Just take it from somebody that's done it. I guess if you've got, you know, a $40,000 greenhouse with heating and lights all winter, yeah, that'd be a good thing to do. But if you're like most of us that are just making a backyard garden or a back garden yard, then what you want to do is just go ahead and pick them off of these plants and be done with them. Compost the stems and leaves, and plant them again next spring. But you do what you want to do. That's just my advice. And another problem I ran into when I tried to overwinter some pepper plants was aphids. Right now you can hardly see any aphids, but I promise you there's a few aphids on there. Well, right now the different bugs and things like that will eat the aphids and keep them under control. But you take them in the house, they've got no enemies. The aphids are going to expand. One day you're going to look and you're going to have a whole stem full of aphids. And of course you can spray those down with your dish soap detergent mixtures and stuff and get them off. But once again, it's just not worth the trouble, folks, to try to keep these alive for about 4 or 5 months in the house with all the different problems and care it's going to take. Go out and enjoy the holidays and forget trying to overwinter your peppers and tomatoes and eggplants. Okay, I'm off my soapbox now. Okay folks, so got quite a nice pepper harvest. I've got bell peppers, orange peppers, and I've got the yellow banana peppers, and this is not bad for Halloween. And then of course I got the lima beans that I said would bear until frost. Well, frost is tonight. It's Halloween, and we'll be eating fresh lima beans for Halloween and probably a few more days. And anyway, that's it for this video. If you like content like this, please like and subscribe to the channel. It really helps us, and we will see you on the next video.